Yo, guys, this is welcome back to MoVernie in studio, and beside me is amazing Mayoral candidate Ari Goldkind. Nice to have you here.
Pleasure to be here, MoVernie. How are you?
Yeah, nice to meet you. First of all, nice outfit here. You're really fashionable as well and very on the fly.
Well, hold on. You want to talk about my outfit? Let me see. You're wearing purple and a yellow jacket. Am I being set up by Olivia Chow here?
No, probably not. I hope not.
Okay, good. I just wanted. It looks familiar to me. I mean, there you go.
So, would this be a first time in interview where you'll be in Galaxy?
This is the first time I'm in Galaxy.
Now, as you know, people are trying to search Rob Ford. Do you think Rob Ford might be the reason why people can't find him? Maybe he's just in space?
I know where he is, and I can tell you he's not in space.
That's good. Ari, I know that you're a criminal defense lawyer.
I am.
And you're going to run for mayor. Tell the audience more about yourself.
I'm Ari Goldkind. I just turned 40, so that in and of itself causes problems. And now that I'm getting older, last year I was watching what was going on in the city, and I said, you know what? I could do a better job than our current mayor and become a fantastic mayor. I think I bring so much to the table. I'm not a career politician. I'm not a politician now. I think the people of this city are not happy with the current choices that they have, and when people take a real look at what I'm doing, and you've taken a look, and my website's www.ariformayor.com, and I'm on Twitter at Ari Goldkind. People really like what I'm saying with some real solutions and some tough choices.
I know that the top three is John Tory, Rob Ford, and Olivia Chow, but there are a number, over 50 of candidates. How do you see yourself standing? I see your name is picking up steam, and what's your secret ingredient or successor ingredient that why your name is moving up into?
My secret ingredient, MoVernie, and it's really the secret sauce, is I'm the only candidate in this election telling the truth about what we need in this city. All jokes aside, this is a city that has forgotten about people like you and me, young people living around the city, people who want to work, people who want to succeed. You know, a lot of these politicians that are running that have been in politics for 30 years, they make promise after promise after promise, but anybody with a brain knows that these are promises that can't be kept. So there's a real hunger out there. I'm sure you talk to your friends, I talk to my friends. Why won't anybody tell voters the truth? I'm doing that, and it's causing us to rise up, and in the next month or two, stay tuned.
So tell us about your platform. What is the key issues that you would like to deal with if you get to be the mayor of the city of Toronto?
Great question. Moving us right off the Ford agenda. The Ford agenda is no, no, no. Now, Ford's gone, and he's on a little sabbatical doing God knows what, because it really isn't real rehab, but he's taken us in a direction where the city's not worth investing in. And as you know, and as anybody knows, I mean, we're here in a studio, you've put a little investment into it, and here we are.
Right.
This is a city that's worth investing in. So if we don't invest in transit, and we're stuck on the DVP, stuck on streetcars, stuck on buses, stuck at Yonge and Eglinton getting onto a subway.
I was just stuck in the traffic today.
There you go. And the problem is that the big names that you mentioned, the Chow, the Tory, and the Fords, they're getting us nowhere. I stand for the fact that this is a city that should be taken into the 21st century, and as Torontonians, we can come together and make the tough choices that say we are going to get this city moving. Stupid, silly promises, that won't do it.
Now let's go to a video of you that I found on your site. Is more like introduction about you. So let's go and
You're going to make me watch myself?
Oh yeah, man.
All right.
It's always like to see yourself.
We're in front of a very well-known landmark in Toronto. We're a landmark city. We're the fourth largest city in North America. But we're not being presented options for our future that will keep us that way. My plan for Toronto will take the great city that we are and will make us even greater. Yes, it might hurt a little bit at first, but like all adult decisions, sometimes a little short-term pain is worth it for long-term gain.
Sorry, looking good there. I can recognize it's basically in the front of CNE exhibition place. How do you see yourself in the video when you get to see yourself like that?
When I look at that video, and the reason we did it there is, you know, there's terms that are talked about in Toronto all the time, and I'm sure you travel, I travel. I think it's important to travel and know what else is going on in the world. That's a landmark. The CNE gates are a landmark. If we're going to be a landmark city, we should start being known for things other than the CN Tower, which was built in the 70s. My whole view is that this city needs some imagination, and to become a city that should really be called a landmark city, we need to get going now on the things that will make this city great. Using terms like world class and best city in the world, I'm sorry. We're a good city, probably a great city, but we could be so much better, and that's why these promises can't just keep being silly. We have to build transit, we have to get people moving, we have to look after our budget. I mean, Ford had the right message, I hate to say it, which was, let's not waste tax dollars. Right message, wrong messenger.
Okay. So now you're a criminal defense lawyer, but what other qualifications that you think that you are the man for the job?
Well, let's talk about what leadership is, okay? And you make your way around the city. I watched that. By the way, everything you did before I got on here made me hungry. I mean, one thing was food thing after food thing. I mean, I'm starving now sitting here next to you. But what does leadership really mean? It means making tough choices and being able to rally people behind you. So being a politician, like your clothing namesake, doesn't make you qualified to lead. Being somebody who says, I'm going to run, doesn't make you lead. Let's look at my life. My whole job is about convincing people to do things and to make decisions that they may not have wanted to make. That is leadership. And if you think of city council with 44 people, I mean, it's just the two of us in here, but the mayor has 1 vote, 44 people there. It's about convincing people that you're doing the right thing and that you're not pandering to people. You've been pandered to enough. I've been pandered to enough. Leadership is about standing up.
Well said. You put things into perspective and they're making realistic, ideal plans. Now, if you become the next mayor of the city of Toronto, what are 3 things immediately you will make a change and that you want to make a change that right now you think that the Ford Nation or the Ford Party is not doing?
All right, well, first of all, we're going to start building transit on my watch, but we're going to pay for it. All of this stuff about we're going to ask Stephen Harper to pay for it, we're going to ask the province to pay for it, unless we chip in as Torontonians and look serious. It's not effective to go with your hand out and say, give me money, unless you're willing to put some up yourself. That's the whole idea. When you go buy a house, you put a down payment, and then you get a mortgage. That's my whole approach to transit, getting it actually built, not talking about it. Number 2, this is a little bit of a dry issue, but we spend so much gravy on certain items in the budget, and nobody asks any questions about it. I ask tough questions. I'm not afraid of blowback. I'm not afraid of people saying, how dare you talk about that issue? So when you talk about police budgets, and you know in this city that a lot of people don't just view police as saving kittens out of trees. There's a real issue with policing in this city, and I intend to address it. It's a $1 billion line item. Number 3, and I think this is something you'd appreciate, you're a man about town. One of the things that we have all this densification, all the condos going up, which is important for tax revenue, we've lost the element of design. So for me, designing buildings, designing a beautiful Toronto, making sure there's parks and infrastructure and these boring little things, but they're not boring. That's what municipal life is about, making your life easier and more enjoyable as you run around the city, whether it be Scarborough, Etobicoke, Rexdale, North York, downtown, uptown. We all want to have good lives, and a big part of that is design, infrastructure, quality of life. So those are the 3.
So better zoning, better natural landscape, and better architecture that bring better image to the city.
Yeah, and being smarter about it. And as you go around the world, you know there are so many cities that are known for being beautiful and making beautiful buildings. Why can't we do that in Toronto? I think we can.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, architecture, the building that I could remember that stands out is probably the one Monroe in Mississauga. So I would love to see
the Marilyn Monroe building.
Yes, and that's like everybody keep their mind, but I would love to see something beautiful in Toronto that also stands out.
Yeah, and you probably spend time around tons of creative people, great architects, great developers. There is a will to do that. We have tremendous talent in this city. This is one of the most talented places in the world. Let's use that talent.
So Ari, what's your thought on Porter Airlines? Is a big heated topic. Some people want it to expand. Some people said no to preserve the the beautiful environment in the city. What's your take?
I'll say it like this. Let me give you the City Hall version. Let's spend 2 days having council meetings going blah, 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 and then blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not me. Here's my answer. No jets, period, end of story. Hope I'm crystal clear.
So not even maintaining whatever Porter's doing.
Well, what Porter's doing now, you can't really reverse the hands of time. So right. As much as in my mind, boy, that's an interesting question, it's there, that's happening. But in terms of jets and extending the runway and taking your and my tax dollars and giving it to a very wealthy man who's got a monopoly down there, and don't get me wrong, I like Porter. I've used it. It's convenient. It's all this. But being convenient and having something that's good for me doesn't mean it's good for the city, doesn't mean it's good for Torontonians. End of story.
I remember one of the interview that you actually point out, and people should actually know about, is that you mentioned about the train that is going to be built and finished by 2015 that can go from Toronto downtown right to the Pearson Airport in 20 minutes.
22 minutes.
That was a key point that I actually,
And people don't talk about it. They waste 2 days at council talking about Porter. They waste a day talking about food trucks. How is food trucks a complicated issue? This is a city that should have food trucks. But when you talk about Porter, we've put $150 million of tax money to get to Pearson, where there are jets, in 22 minutes. So this whole argument about convenience in Porter doesn't make sense. It's a beautiful part of the city. We should do everything we can, even though it's gone a little too far, to keep that part of Toronto beautiful for everybody.
Now, Ari, I realize you're really a fan in social media. You have a Twitter account, you have the website. Now, what's the life now as a politician compared people in the past, where now social media actually runs? How do you utilize it, and how important to you do you think social media?
So that's the most interesting thing for me, is now using Twitter. Once I decided to run for mayor, it's amazing because, first of all, I actually write my own tweets,
wow.
which I'm told is not all that usual for the people who are in politics.
Tons of PRs and stuff.
Yeah, so if people go to @Ari Goldkind, they will see it's my mind, it's what I'm thinking, it's what I feel. There's no filter. I say what I think. That's me. But what it does is it's taken me in the span of a month. I've gone from 0 followers in a month to, I think today, 1,500. That's not bad. And a lot of the things that people are hearing about me are starting with a buzz on social media. People are saying, why aren't we hearing more of him? Why isn't he at debates? My view is, rather than complaining about it, I'm going to use people who say, I'm not in love with my current choices, and I'm going to pay attention to Ari Goldkind. And you know what? My view is, I'm going to earn my way there.
Now, for example, if there is going to be another debate panel, and you're one of the person being invited, what would be the challenges you have for the big three?
First of all, they're going to get cross-examined. They're not going to be able to get away with their silly answers that answer nothing. John Tory won't be able to sit on the fence like Humpty Dumpty. Rob Ford won't get away with answering any question the same way. Respect for taxpayers, gravy train, saved $1 billion. And Olivia Chow won't have her speechwriters there to give her answers, so she's going to have a very tough time convincing the city that there should be a Mayor Chow. And that's very different than a candidate chow or somebody that everybody loves or enjoys spending time with. Being a mayor of a city is a very serious thing, and I'm going to show that it's about earning it, not being given it or inheriting it.
So Ari, a lot of younger generations study have shown that the percentage of them actually take the action to vote are very low. What kind of ways that you if you're a mayor, what kind of plans do you have in place for the youth, for the younger people to run the activities for the city, for younger groups, and how do you motivate them to actually vote?
Okay. 2 points to that. One, I think it's been built in now that Rob Ford is the sideshow and the mayor who uses crack. The world is watching. Jimmy Kimmel is watching. Jon Stewart is watching. And to me, that's making people be more alive to what's going on in the city, because you don't even have to love municipal politics. You don't have to be interested in the minutia of details at City Hall. But it's saying to people, we don't want this black mark on our face again. And whether you're 18 or whether you're 75, people are making the decision to tune in. And I think that voting is going to be very, very high this year. The second part to that is, I'm here talking to you. You have a very specific audience. You have a younger audience. The Toronto Star and the National Post are not running after your audience, but your ear is more to the ground than many people. My whole point is, I'm going to earn it one person at a time. That may take a while. It may be harder. I may be grinding harder than anybody else because nobody owes me anything. But by coming and talking to you in the voice that you have, I am going to earn it person by person. And when people tune in, they tend to say, oh, who's this Ari Goldkind? I want to know more about him. That's the point.
Now, Ari, if people want to know more about you, where can they find you?
What they can do, there's 3 or 4 things they can do. I'm on Facebook at Ari Goldkind for mayor. On Twitter, at Ari Goldkind. My website is www.ariformayor.com. And more importantly, because this isn't just about style. I mean, obviously I appreciate style, you appreciate style, but it's about substance.
Right.
And if people go to www.ariformayor.com/plan, they will see a 7-page platform of what I'm putting out into the world. And if people look at that, they tend to say, wait a minute, this is a guy that needs to be taken more seriously. That's what we want. None of this is sideshow. None of this is fringe. It's all about showing people I'm a real guy living a real life with a real day job who says, you know what, the people of Toronto deserve better, and I can do better than what we have now and the choices that we're being told we have.
Now, Ari, I also know that you're launching your mayoral running party campaign soon. Can you tell to people who would want to show up to show your support, want to meet you in person?
And I would love that if anybody's watching this, if anybody's interested, I'd love to meet you. Our official meet and greet event launch is May 14th at 6:30. The details are all on my website, again, www.ariformayor.com. I would be happy to meet each and every person who's watching this. They can ask me anything. I do Twitter chats called Ask REG Anything.
Nice.
And when I tell you I answer anything, people can ask me whatever they want. I'm an open book, and I think that's a very, very refreshing change than the BS that most people are hearing in the current mayoral race.
Ari, best of luck to your mayoral candidate running.
Thank you.
And your party, and you're just a real guy. Very in your face, very real. And I guess a lot of people would love to know more about you and check in various social media ways.
I'd love that, and I'd love to talk to anybody watching. I'm available at any time. This is about making the city finally come together and have a mayor they can be proud of.
Now, for people who are waiting for my MoVernie contest, there is a Divergent t-shirt, and a number of you actually played on Twitter. Now, I'm telling you, the winner her name is Anne, and she go by her Twitter handle t.loveforlife. So I'm going to contact you. Congratulations for winning the Divergent t-shirt sponsored by Booster Juice. So I will be in touch, but stay tuned for next week because I will have more giveaways coming soon. And tomorrow night, I got invited to check out the Chum Fan Fest. I will be interviewing, covering people performing such as Alyssa Reed, Ari Goldkind, Tegan and Sarah, and all kinds of people, Christina Maria. So stay tuned for every Wednesday, MoVernie live in studio, and check out who I'm going to interview for next week. And thank you, Ari, again, and best of luck.
Pleasure, and I want to go to all these things you're going to. That
I know,
sounds
it's
like
fun,
fun.
Man. And MoVernie's up here.
Cool. Hi, I'm Ari. I'm from Toronto. I'm proud to be from Toronto and proud to live here. My friends and family are here, and people from all over the world want to come to our great city to make a life for themselves. But more than ever, Toronto is at a crossroads. Only 2 choices: the road to success or the road to mediocrity. The road to success will not be easy for us. We know the challenges ahead of us. We cannot bury our heads in the sand. Other candidates will tell you what you already know about what we need to do. But they're not telling you the most important part, is how they're going to pay for it. I'm going to put a plan before you that not only tells you what I'm going to do now and for the long term, but most importantly, I'm going to tell you how we're going to pay for it.